At least 4 sewer construction workers scrambled to safety this morning when a torrent of underground water swept into their 80-foot deep construction pit. They left so fast that at least one of the workers left his boots behind. The hairy face has returned to eminence. The mustache, the sideburns, the goatees, and the beards have resurfaced, primarily on the campuses. Mutton chops, Van Dykes, and all are being taken as signs of almost everything: rebellion, conformity, masculinity. Sprouting some facial hair is now the in thing. It seems to have replaced goldfish swallowing and panty raids as the #1 preoccupation of collegiate males. There are several theories about the psychological reasons for the hirsute appearance. Some say it's the most obvious method for demonstrating masculinity. There's a theory that a beard, mustache, or sideburns draw attention away from other facial features like big noses or distended ears. Then there's the notion that it's really the uniform for the army of the youth. Some gentlemen actually admit that they grow all that extra hair in an attempt to look older to bartenders who are conscious of the drinking age. Anyway, they're back, almost as strongly as that 1890 splurge. But there's one difference. These are not necessarily permanent. Ed Hinshaw, News 4, with a ticklish nose on the UWM campus.
This is the story of a Caribbean working vacation, the Milwaukee Symphony in the Dominican Republic. It's a great town for shopping. Trombonist Gary Greenholm and his wife Nan looked around the shops of the older, restored part of town. They were looking for amber jewelry, petrified sap from the Dominican trees, and they bargained for a price.
Prices, it's only $20.
Some of the guys in the band organized a softball game with the young Dominicans who hang around the hotel. The Dominicans are good at the game. After the fun and games, there were concerts to worry about, and there was a chance for Carlos Piantini, a Dominican who used to play violin with the New York Philharmonic, to explain his job.
Ed Hinshaw, News 4 Milwaukee.
The court-ordered desegregation of the Milwaukee schools touches many of us personally. It is one of the most trying issues in this community in years, perhaps in history. It is a difficult test for the entire community and an emotional test for parents and students throughout this area. The difficulty is reflected in a conversation we taped at John Marshall Junior and Senior High School this summer. We asked several sources who've been close to the process to recommend some people who represent the middle, those personally involved in the effort generated by the court decision. We asked that they not be the leaders, rather that they reflect the wide range of opinions on the subject. Obviously, they don't represent all opinions. That would be impossible. But they... It was a fanfare. It was a trumpeting to draw attention. It was the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra blowing its own horn, saying in effect, listen to this orchestra because it's good, because it's very good, because it's world class.
The delay did not seem to deter the musicians' appetite for fun. They may have lost a few hours of sightseeing, but they'll have plenty of time to do that on this long and expensive tour. An expensive tour at a time when the symphony is $1 million in debt.
Flutist Glenda Lathrop took her daughter Kirsten, a 7th grader at Shorewood Intermediate School, along on the trip. They looked at some things others missed. The huge Hamburg port, for example. It was a special adventure for both Lathrops.
This is our mother-daughter trip. I always felt like I wanted to take her someplace special because later on, if she comes to Europe again, it probably won't be with her mother. I wanted her to have a sense of history and know a different culture from what she's used to at home.
I think it's pretty neat. There's a lot of stuff to see.
And if there's a meeting area for cultures in Europe, it's here in the central area of Amsterdam.
The main square is filled with people on weekend afternoons.
One of the more bizarre practices of the government of the city of Milwaukee is to pay parts of the salaries of officials of the labor unions which hold contracts with the city. The strange idea behind this is that the union officials help to administer the labor contracts. The city's relationships with its various bargaining units are by their very nature adversarial. So these partial salary payments have the effect of supporting the city's bargaining opponents.
The metropolitan Milwaukee community is in an extremely important crossroads. I want to say crosswords. The metropolitan Milwaukee community is in an extremely consideration after its sponsor agreed to attach language to control the pictures common on vending machines. The metropolitan Milwaukee community is at an extremely... Why can't I get through that?
You've got too many things all at once.
Here we go. The metropolitan Milwaukee community is at an extremely important crossroads. I still didn't do it, did I?
Nope.
Jesus. The metropolitan Milwaukee community is at an extremely... The metropolitan Milwaukee community is at an extremely important... At an extremely. The metropolitan Milwaukee community is at an extremely important crossroads this weekend. Several suburban school boards have responded. I'll buy that one.
Okay.
Things are going to get tougher for fathers who don't pay child support. The Milwaukee District Attorney's Office plans to put lawyers in the welfare office to interview unmarried mothers who apply for families aid for. I don't know why that's so tough. Things are going to get tougher for fathers who don't pay child support. The Milwaukee District Attorney's Office plans to put lawyers in the welfare office to interview unmarried mothers who apply for aid to families for... God bless. Do it good, Ed.
The people who use the facilities. Let me do that one more time. I watched this guy hit my car. He can't park for shit. She. Let's find out what she's doing now. Well, I'll go again anyway. Milwaukee needs a new... She all the way. That was a good decision, lady.
Things are going to get tougher for fathers who don't pay child support. The Milwaukee District Attorney's Office plans to put lawyers in the welfare office to interview... Applied for aid to families with... 5, 4, 3. But let's have some serious discussions about the pain and other costs so we can find the proper balance. One more of those little suckers and we can call it a day. Technical term, little suckers.
More like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, I don't mind, but what do you mean I am the one who will dance on the floor in the round? She said, I am the one who will dance on the floor in the round. 40 days and 40 nights, the law was on her side. But who can stand when she's in demand her schemes and plans? 'Cause we danced on the floor in the round. So take my strong advice, just remember to always think twice. She told me her name was Billie Jean as she caused the scene. Then every head turned with eyes that dreamed of being the one who will dance on the floor in the round. People always told me, be careful of what you do and don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. She came and stood right by me. Then the smell of sweet perfume, this happened much too soon. She called me to her room. Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She says I am the one, but the kid is not my son.